Yo guys, what's going on? Trevor F here, and today I want to talk to you guys about the iCarly reboot and my opinion on it. There's going to be some stuff that I'm going to say that's actually honest about, like I'm actually honest about everything, but there's also things that I'm going to try not to make myself sound like an asshole, but the problem is there's just some things I want to point out about it. Now the first thing I want to mention is the fact of Carly. Carly is definitely not the same person as she once was. Carly seemed more like she had more of a bright idea of how she wanted to handle herself, her friends / relationship situations, and her family situation. Well, she only mentions her dad once in the 3-episode series, and she don't even remember what he does. Basically, she explains what he does to a guy that she met, but she doesn't explain in full detail. Basically says the title, but does not say what she does. So Carly basically kind of just like leaves out everything that she once did in the original, where she had ideas and she had stuff to say about different topics and everything. But it seems like in this reboot, they just kind of like basically just said, well, you know what? We're just gonna kind of leave some stuff out, and no one's gonna notice because it's just a reboot. People just want to watch the show, and no one's gonna think deep into these things. But in reality, we actually do. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the actual web show itself, where back in iCarly, if you guys remember, Freddy would always hold a big camera where they would always do the live shows. But now it's being on a phone, an actual iPhone, not an Apple phone. But the weird thing about that is they have pair books still, but they don't have pair phones. They have iPhones, but pair books, which does not make any sense. So it kind of like makes you think, well, does Apple allow them to use certain products in their videos, or are they just not allowed to use the full extent, or do they not just want to pay more money to be able to use Apple product, which they are allowed to use iPhone, but not the computers, which is really weird to me, because you would think that that'd be the one thing that they'd be allowed to use. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is Spencer. Spencer is still pretty much the same, except of how he is now rich and how he owns a nice apartment, which in reality, I'm pretty sure it's just the same apartment as the original series, just modified to make it look like he's been more successful with his art. Not really much has been said of how he became successful with his career, but he gets into a little bit of detail, but not much is said, and it's just kind of weird how all that transition, where back in the original, he was just known for his art, but didn't get much, or really anything out of it, but now in this series, he's rich and has a lot because of his art, but like I said, not much is mentioned, so it doesn't really make any sense into that aspect either. Now, what really sucks about this reboot is Sam is no longer in the reboot. She denied joining the iCarly reboot, which I don't blame her. But the thing about it is iCarly was known to have Sam, Freddy, Carly, and Spencer. But without Sam, it just seems like it's kind of a lost cause where it's just not as good as it used to be, because Sam was that mean girl who always put people in their place and always helped Carly keep her mind in a good state, and was always there for her and kept a lot of people in line. But when she's not there, it just seems like that's just all kind of out of nowhere. The next thing I want to talk about is Freddy. Freddy is definitely not the same person as he was. Freddy, to me, has just kind of seemed like he's just not himself at all. The tech stuff, he's just not into it anymore. He doesn't seem like he cared about it too much. And now he has a stepdaughter, which that's another person we're gonna get into here in a minute. But Freddy is just too, like, gullible now, more than he was in the original iCarly, which kind of sucks because Freddy actually stood up for what he wanted to do and actually had a good mindset of how he wanted to handle things, but just seems like in this reboot he really didn't have much of that kind of mindset at all. He was just kind of like, in a sense, just going with the flow of everything, but at the same time kind of putting things that was important to him first. But it's just a big mesh of things, and now it just kind of sucks because of that. Now, the next thing I'll talk about is Freddy's stepdaughter. She's just annoying. Seriously, she's annoying. She's disobedient. She tricks Freddy into everything. She's mean to everybody. And it's a perfect, like, demonstration of how today's world is going to complete hell. Literally, she doesn't listen to Freddy whenever Freddy says anything. Mean to Carly for no reason. She's annoying. Like I said, the character herself in real life, I'm sure is not like that. I'm pretty sure she's like a really nice person in real life, but her character is just so terrible. The acting isn't even that good either, and it just shows you today that in the world that we live in, that's how the next generation is. They don't listen to their parents. They do what they want, say what they want, and do anything that they can to get their way. And it shows. and it's really pathetic. And there's an episode, and I believe it was episode 3, where Spencer was showing off his art at this museum. And the girl, Freddy's stepdaughter, basically was trying to act like she was traumatized from a tweet that Freddy posted out years ago before he decided to have a stepdaughter or any kind of child at all. And she tried using, oh, well, I'm traumatized by that post that he made years ago before he decided to actually have a kid. So that just kind of shows you how manipulative she is, and it just shows how much of a bad character she is. Her acting's not that great either. I'm personally not a big fan of her. Honestly, the show could have been a lot better without her. Now the next thing is Harper, Carly's new friend. She just has this attitude of like she thinks she knows it all. She acts like she has everything covered and all that stuff, and she doesn't. And what doesn't make sense to me is why they would allow a character like that. And what's really weird to me now is the original iCarly had everything that they needed. Like, they had each other, and they always solved everything together. Now it just seems like Spencer, Carly, and Freddy still basically stay with each other, but the other characters just kind of do their own thing, not even really caring. And what's also weird if you think about it with the web show situation, there's no iCarly.com website, which is how that web show started. The website was made to show off all these other talents and stuff like that, which this iCarly doesn't. It's literally recorded on a phone where it doesn't even say where it's live at. Like, it doesn't show the iCarly website's up. On the screen, on the original iCarly, you'd always occasionally see that the iCarly website was up where it was being filmed and live at. But except in this situation, you don't see that at all. And it kind of really brings down the situation of, you know, people who are my age that watched iCarly back in 2007, 2008 whenever it aired. And it's just not the same. It's really not. They try to make it more adult-like as well. And even that wasn't that good. I mean, there's some stuff I could say that are good about it, but there's just more bad to it. There really is. And, you know, the cast might think it's great, and they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be great, you know, we're gonna come back and stuff like that. Honestly, the series wasn't that good. And, you know, I did enjoy watching those episodes, but it's just not the same. And I don't like it as much. Would I make it my daily watch? No, not really. I'd rather just go back to watching the old iCarly, which I have Paramount, so I've been watching the old iCarly, because the new one's just not as satisfying. And it also shows that Carly is more emotional when it comes to relationships. That's what's more depressing about it. And I don't know. Not something I'd watch on a daily. If you guys have your own opinions, let me know below in the comments. It'd be interesting to see what you guys believe on this. Like I said, just not something I would watch on a daily thing, so. But yeah, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Like I said, give me your opinions in the comments below of what you guys think of the show and what you think could be changed, what you like about it, what you dislike about it. Just tell me anything. Maybe I'll even make another video about the show when more episodes come out, and I might even include your guys' comments and basically try to point out some things that you guys said or even agree with you or maybe even disagree with you and make a video about it. But yeah, let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.